In the headlines, NBC revokes licenses of AIT, Silverbird TV, 50 others over failure to renew their broadcast licenses. Police kill terrorists, rescue 2 kidnapped victims in Katsina State. Flood destroys 1,750 hectares of farmland, displaces 183 households in Adamawa State. And on the foreign scene, 14 civilians killed, dozens injured in northern Syria marketplace missile attack. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Now the news in detail. National Broadcasting Commission has revoked the broadcast licenses of Silverbird TV, AIT, Ray Power FM and Rhythm FM amongst others over failure to renew their broadcast licenses amounting to 2.66 billion naira. Director General NBC Balarabe Shehu Ilela made the disclosure during a press conference at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The report.
According to the Director General, the Commission has exhausted every means of dialogue with the defaulting stations as their outstanding debts to renew their licenses contravenes the NBC's Act and laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In view of this development, the continued operation of the debtor station is illegal and constitutes a threat to national security. Therefore, after due consideration, the National Broadcasting Corporation (NBC) hereby announces the revocation of the license of the underlisted debtors and are hereby given 24 hours to shut down their stations or operations.
Ilela said the Commission's officers nationwide is directed to work with security agents to ensure that defaulting stations are shut down within 24 hours.
Our offices nationwide are hereby directed also to collaborate with security agencies across the country to ensure immediate compliance. If you want your license to be taken back to you, simply come and register with NBC again. Follow the process and get your license back. That's all.
The Commission also called on Internet Protocol Television to register appropriately, while stressing that this action of the Commission has no political undertone. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Officers of the Katsina State Police Command have rescued 2 men from terrorists at Wapa village in Kurufi local government area of the state after a fierce gun duel. The police said the terrorists, numbering up to 24, invaded the village few minutes after midnight and abducted the men. The command spokesman, SP Gambo Isa, who confirmed the incident, revealed that the police officers received a distress call on the invasion, following which they mobilized to the village to engage the terrorists, where many of them were believed to have been killed in the encounter. The commissioner urged residents in the state to always cooperate with security agencies in the current campaigns against terrorists and other criminals. Troops of Operation Forest Sanity involved in the ongoing military operation in Kaduna State have destroyed a camp belonging to a notorious bandit, Lowell Kwelba, located inside a forest in Rafindawa in Chukun local government area of the state. According to the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruwan, the troops conducted a patrol to the location following actionable intelligence. He said that the troops, after clearing the camp, recovered some batteries and 27 bags of fertilizer suspected to be used by the bandits for manufacturing of explosive devices. 1 motorcycle and 2 mobile phones were recovered as the bandits took to their heels before the troops' arrival. The troops, according to the commissioner, extended the search a short distance from the camp and made some arrests while investigations are ongoing on the intercepted suspects. Nigeria, like other emerging economies, is confronted by a myriad of challenges that are crippling its development. In this report, Trust TV correspondent examines as a state struggling to stand.
Nigeria's population has hit more than 216 million, leaving the country open to economic implications which have impacted negatively on all aspects of society. It can be argued that economic imbalance have led to security challenges which have thrown the country into turmoil. Kidnapping and killing innocent citizens is on the rise, and years of economic uneasiness have driven up crime rates, leaving Nigeria in a vulnerable state.
Banditry, kidnapping, inflation, all of these things are enough to bring down the economy.
If you go to places like Kano, the farmers there need funds. My place in Delta, the farmers need funds. You are not giving funds to farmers, and you are giving money to people who are from Chad, who are from Niger. For what?
The education sector has taken a blow, and with it, the dreams of a young generation. But to cap it all, the World Bank has listed Nigeria among the top 10 countries with the worst inflation rate in the world, occupying the 8th position.
The economy is suffering. We inside is even suffering too. They affect the business in many ways because 90 to 95% of the goods is imported. So once the exchange goes up, the goods goes up. And this increment on diesel and fuel has made the local one even to go up because the rate of transportation has increased.
Rising inflation has impacted negatively on Nigeria's already difficult economic situation, with the people finding it difficult to keep up with unprecedented surge in prices.
All of us, we need a good governance in this country in different angle, because people in different way are talking, but they can't hear their voice. Please, in the highest authority, they should do something very possible to make sure that things is working again in this country.
People really always think about economy as the basic problem of Nigeria. No. So the problem is not corruption, it's crisis of nationhood initiated by capitalism. Our exploiter, those who invaded our land, exploited us to the core.
Despite projects, programs, and policy aimed at tackling these problems, Nigeria is struggling to leap up to take its rightful position among the Committee of Nations.
The National Emergency Management Agency says floods has destroyed 1,750 hectares of farmland and displaced 183 households in Numan local government area of Adamawa State. Head of Operations, NEMA, Adamawa and Taraba, Ladan Ayuba, made this known in an interview in Yola on Friday. He said most of the affected farmlands were areas where rice has been cultivated in commercial quantity. He said the agency conducted an on-the-spot assessment in the affected communities and will soon provide relief packages to the victims, adding that food and clothing have been provided to the victims as a temporary relief measure. The education sector in Nigeria is facing many challenges, ranging from out-of-school children, inadequate funding, and insecurity. In Katsina State, these challenges hamper the development of not only the education sector, but the state as a whole. Abdullahi Yamadi takes a look at how the out-of-school children phenomenon has impeded the state's quest to have better education for all. The report.
One of the fundamental sectors that ensures the development of any country is education. The out-of-school children phenomenon is a great challenge in attaining this objective. In Katsina State, there were 1 million out-of-school children between 2016 to 2018. Today, the number has significantly dropped to 776,000 children. Authorities in Katsina State attribute the phenomenon to poverty, cultural beliefs, and insecurity.
In this state, that's what we call integrated Quranic schools. We integrated them. We have almost 255 schools in 30 4 local governments education authority that we have in the state, or the local government that we have in the state. So we have 255 schools. And the enrollment we have 2 million now, 47,355 pupils.
Amidst of all these challenges, Katsina State, which used to be the citadel of education, is saying its funding of education is one of the best in the country.
Overhead funds in this state is prompt. We receive it almost, you can say, all the time. But the LES, every month, the governor is giving them their overheads. The governor is trying to run the affairs of education successfully.
Stakeholders say that containing the scourge of out-of-school children is a very tedious task. However, the school feeding program and conditional cash transfer initiatives of the state government are playing a great role in controlling the scourge.
Education is major within a period of time. So you find out that the students who are supposed to graduate maybe in 3-4 years may likely spend 6, 5, 6, 7 years in the university. And this will translate into having a gap in terms of knowledge and in terms of filling, certain vacancies in the civil service.
All Nigerians agree that the education sector is witnessing its worst time in the history of Nigeria, with university education at a standstill for close to 6 months. The ASU strike on one hand, out-of-school children and insecurity on the other, put the education sector in Katsina at the edge of the sword. However, the question is, what are the implications of this strike, and what are the students doing at best to pass time during the strike?
I now surpass my time in redundancy doing nothing. By the next 2 or 3 months, I'm expecting to have my certificate as a student of School of Postgraduate. But now I don't even know my pet, and there were many like me from all the universities. So in fact, we are not happy.
Educationists want government to declare a state of emergency on education in Nigeria to demonstrate its seriousness in putting the sector back on track. Abdullahi Ismail Ahmadi, Cross Television News, Katsina.
The Free Education and Schools Infrastructural Reform Policy introduced by the Adamawa state government has been described as mere preface. Although more than 10,000 out of the over 200,000 out-of-school children in Adamawa State have been enrolled in school, more needs to be done. Silas Lowell reports that data available revealed that 3 local government areas of the state, Maiha, Song and Numan, have the largest percentage of out-of-school children, majority girls. His report.
In September 2019, among reforms initiated by state government is the immediate commencement of building and reconstructions of schools across the state, aimed complementing the free education policy introduced. However, 3 years after the pronouncement of the policy, schools, especially in the state capital, are not doing well.
This is GDS's Dobeli exams hall, where free WAEC and NECO used to be held.
Some of the schools visited, classes were not in good condition, as they are either leaking or without doors, windows and chairs, a situation that forced students to sit on the floor, while some pupils are disengaging.
I am 14 years old and I am not in school, although I have finished my primary school last year. That is why I engage myself into this scavenging job. If enrolled, I will continue with my education. I have never been to school because my parents are poor. I know they cannot afford to my school. That is why I concentrated in this business to support them and my younger ones. The schools here are not free because they are still ask us to pay school fees.
The story of this school is similar to other schools.
The Adamawa State government is paying WAEC and NECO, that's all. But apart from that, there's nothing on ground. I'm talking to you now. I am a teacher, and in my school and most of school in the Yola metropolis, there are no chairs for students to sit. The situation is very pathetic.
However, stakeholders say the present government is doing better, especially in the areas of free education, school feeding program, teacher welfare, and employment.
Present government took education as a serious business. NECO and WAEC is being paid, and no child now is paying anything in the school. That is a moral booster. And that's why some people will want to leave the private school in order to come to government school.
Meanwhile, on a different note, some university students explain how are they coping with the strike.
We're still hoping. Maybe they will call us. Every month we hope for calling, they are not calling. Every month they are not calling. The federal government imagine saying that they don't know that ASUU are on strike. No, this is not the education we need for Nigeria.
Just passing by, I saw some group of violence. Meanwhile, from the men looking, most 80% are youths. 80% of them are youths. They are engaging in so many violent activities. Then I said in my mind, had it been we were in school, it will not lead to such activities.
With no possible solution to the strike, educationists are worried that the already dwindling education system may even go worse. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Booming business activities in Nguru Market. Do stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that NBC revokes licenses of AIT, Silverbird TV, 50 others over failure to renew their broadcast licenses. You also heard that police kill terrorists, rescue 2 kidnapped victims in Katsina State. In more news, as the present economic realities bite harder, some Nigerians are resorting to buying fairly used phones as the price for new ones continue to rise. However, this affordability is set to come with some risks as some of the fairly used phones are stolen, a situation that can land both the buyer and seller into trouble. Hamidu Igbade in this report examines the consequences of buying second-hand phones. His report is presented in our studio.
Mobile phones serve many purposes such as making calls, texting and receiving and sending messages, especially on WhatsApp and short message service. People also use mobile phones to interact on social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Telegram, among others. Besides, phones also help people to keep in touch with family members and friends, conduct businesses, and also for other personal use as may be determined by the user. many people have more than one mobile phone for different purposes. Depending on purchasing power, an individual can buy many phones. Those who may not be able to buy new ones go for those that have been used by someone else because they are sold at a lower price. For Zainab Yakubu, a trader in Oshogbo, it is not wrong to buy a second-hand phone if the owner is a well-known person and he or she is able to present the receipt of the phone.
Before you buy it, make a thorough research on your own to buy before you can get the hand-to-hand phone, so that it won't get you into any trouble. And even if eventually the person is the owner and you are very, very sure that he's the owner, make sure you ask for the receipts of the phone. And if possible that you can't get receipts, make sure the two of you have an agreement that if anything happens, hope is going to stand in.
A Christian cleric, Wale Adelakun, warned against buying second-hand phones because of the inherent dangers.
I want you to know that it's very dangerous to buy phone on the roadside, especially fairly used phone where you don't know the source, you don't know where the phone is coming from. The probability that this phone is stolen is very high. I mean, you can't predict it. And if for any reason they start tracing that phone and they trace it to you, and then you are saying that you bought it on the roadside, you can't even show the policeman or whoever is inquiring where you have bought the phone. I mean, that can put you into trouble.
A lawyer, Gwenle Adebi, said those buying second-hand phones may be doing so against the law.
It may be a stolen product, and those people who are fond of buying such may at any time be in a friction with the law.
A phone engineer, Kehinde Adegin, and businessman Taiwo Ladayo, who both relied on past experiences with fairly used phones, advised all to go for new ones that come with proof of payment like receipt.
It's like that's put a lot of people in trouble in a couple of times like that. Some of my customers have been in trouble because of buying second-hand phone. Even if you must buy, make sure you get receipt with it.
We've had a lot of things, a lot of issues concerning buying a used phone. Sometimes another person will, might steal the phone and sell it to someone. Then you can fall into victim of buying such a phone.
The Commissioner of Police in Osun State, Wale Olokode, warned residents not to buy second-hand phones as it could cause embarrassment in case it was a stolen phone.
It could be a stolen phone, and then once you are caught after investigation, you will be deemed to be a criminal receiver. Meanwhile, you may have bought the phone as an innocent buyer. In order to avoid the embarrassment you might face during the investigation, it's better you go and buy your telephone or your phone, whatever, mobile phone, from credible shops.
Despite warnings like this one, the fairly used goods industry remains on the rise amid astronomical increase in the prices of new products.
Over the years, Guru local government area of Yobe State has continued to remain an important economic hub of northern Nigeria with diverse markets that attract traders from other states and countries. Despite the spate of insecurity in the region, economic activities are still booming in that axis. Trust TV's Idris Jibril was at Guru Main Market and now reports.
Inside Guru Main Markets, traders from different parts of northern Nigeria are trooping in for business. Goods of different types hangs on plain sight waiting to be purchased. Clearly, business is booming here, but traders say there are challenges.
The issue of business these days is honestly not like before. We really need capital because things are tough in this country. People are suffering in their own homeland.
Guru is among the most important economic hub of Nigeria's northeastern region. Its popular cattle market, centuries-old train station, and the viability of the town all tells a story of how merchants from around the country are trading here daily.
kasuwar Guru akalla za ta kai shekara 80 tana cin kasuwa a wannan guri. Wanda asalinta
The Guru main market has been in existence for over 80 years. Initially, we trade in cattle and other livestock, granules, which are being traded right from colonial days, who exports it abroad. Now the market is multi-purpose.
For centuries, traders from all over northern Nigeria and Niger Republic do come here to trade on daily basis, effectively creating jobs for the locals.
In our Guru market day, we have trucks that are coming even from Niger Republic to buy goods. This has further brought development between Guru and our neighbors.
To further enhance businesses and boost the economy, Yobe State government is constructing these ultra-modern markets, hoping to relocate traders from the Guru main market.
Because of the enhanced businesses in Guru, our able governor constructed an ultra-modern market for us, which will be commissioned very soon. We also have one of the largest livestock market in Nigeria.
As peace and stability continue to improve across Yobe State, traders in Guru local government hopes that investment opportunity will significantly improve. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Yobe.
And finally, on the foreign scene, opposition war monitor and a paramedic group said that 14 civilians have been killed and dozens of others wounded when a rocket attack hit the town of Al-Bab in northern Syria. The opposition Syrian Civil Defense, also known as White Helmets, said 5 children were among those killed and that the number of those wounded stands at 30. The attack in the town, which is held by Turkey-backed opposition fighters in the northeastern countryside of Aleppo, came days after an air attack killed Syrian troops and United States-backed Kurdish fighters in Aleppo. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.